Welcome to my channel.
Hey there, this is a review of my Makita. My Makita saw, an LS0714, my Mitre saw. Now, I bought this because I've just bought a house and I bought it in a sort of as new condition, but as new for 1970, and nobody's done anything with it since it was bought. So there's a lot of work that needs doing to it. Now, a lot of the work that needed doing was like cutting floorboards, fitting skirtings, redoing loft hatches and things like that. So a lot of cutting required, and to save myself and my back and my arms the strain of using a saw, I bought myself a Mitre saw. Now, this was the best one I could find for the price, build quality and cutting size and depth and things that I needed it for. Now, the main reason I went for this one was the length of cut. So if we get a ruler out here, it measures to the cut point 31 centimetres, or if you're working old money, then 12 inches, basically 12 and a bit inches. So that's a good length to be able to cut. The cutting depth isn't great. I'm not sure what it actually is. But realistically, if I actually get the, I'm not sure what they advertise it as, I should have checked, but if I get the ruler and measure now what the cutting depth is going to be, it's going to be about 6.5 centimetres, or about 2.5 inches for a cutting depth on it. Now, this is done absolutely superb for everything I've done it for. One thing I'd say it'd be amazing for is laminate flooring, but it cuts well. It's got the standard blade that came with it on, Makita blade. Obviously you can get different tooth blades for different kinds of cuts, but the one that came with it's really good for an all-rounder. Now, I love everything about it. If you were thinking of getting one, I'd really recommend it. I mean, you can see probably, click, yeah, you can see, look, I've got a drill, another drill, Makita here. Most of my tools now are becoming Makitas just because I found them to be really good. Now, with this one, you handle at the back with a little thumb switch. So that's where you set your Mitre angle. So you can choose like 0, 15, 22.5, 30 and 45 that it'll lock on. So you'll see, if I pull it out a bit so it can turn. As I turn it, you'll see this pop up as it gets to 15. There you go, so it locks at 15. Now, if you wanted to set it on something else, you just turn it and then turn the handle and it locks it. It won't move and it'll stay there. Now, in the other direction, in this direction, it'll go all the way around. It'll lock at all them positions, but it'll also lock at 55 as well. So it goes all the way to 55 this way and to 45 that way, which is good. Now, if we go and move the camera around this way, we also have another angle of movement where, if I can get this set up, I'm going to take it off the tripod, where we can see around the back, we've got this handle, you can turn that and then the blade will tilt that way. And you can see, in terms of motion, you can go from 0 all the way to 45 degrees and then back again 5 degrees the other way. So you can see here the blade's now tilted at 45 degrees that way, or you can go back that way to 0 and then I think you have to lock it and then unlock it again and it will, it's getting stuck on this, and then you can go the other way to I can't remember how you do it now, but it will go the other way to 0 to -5 as well this way. So let's lock that off at 0. So that's handy, and this comes in so much use, it's unbelievable. I use it for all sorts of stuff. It's not just cutting mitres and things, it's just for cutting normal wood and stuff now. Comes with one of these lockdown things, so you can sort of clamp down your work into it and then cut it, and I'm really happy with it. A couple of things that I'd say to criticise it is depending if you're cutting like pine, sorry if the video goes a bit shaky now, I'm going freehand. If you're cutting pine and softwoods, it can have a tendency to jam up inside the actual exit port and stuff. So you'll find sometimes you've got your hoover attached to it, so you can attach like a normal hoover to it. It will sometimes get blocked and you need to clear that off with your finger or a piece of wood, obviously, when it's unplugged. Another downside of it is the depth of cut. So the depth of cut isn't the greatest, but they don't say it's going to be great. That's just the way it is. And I bought this saw knowing that, you know, it's not a downside at all, really. It's just a limitation of this type of saw. Another thing is that this is great, but if you ever want to clamp this side, because of the way the motor's mounted on it, it does sometimes interfere. So when you go to plunge down, you think you've got it all set up. You go to plunge and it won't plunge because this part is catching on there if you've got it in this hole here, which isn't good. That's one thing that really irritates me with this. But I normally get around it by just clamping the work with a G clamp across there anyway. There's a few other things on here. So safety terms, you've got this button up here, so to turn it on you've got to push this in, you've got to lift up that bit which will release the guard, and then you can pull the trigger. If you don't do all them three things, it ain't going to turn on, and then it'll let you plunge down. If you don't pull that, if you don't push that in, the trigger won't work, but you can still go down without pushing that in, but you're not going to be able to turn the blade on. If you don't lift that up, the blade isn't going down, it locks. And then another little thing, which is maybe a downside, but I don't think it is, because it comes with a couple of them, is you can pull this out somehow. Does it unscrew? I can't remember, but it comes out anyway. So basically, if you were on a work, there you are, it's come out now. It's a bit tight. So the idea is, if you're on a work site and you went for your lunch break and you didn't want anyone else using it, you could take that out and no one else is going to be able to use that then. So let's put that back in again. But it does come with a couple of them spare. You can set your depth of cut. So if you were cutting some joints, then you could put your work in, clamp it down, and then set the height that you want it to go to. And then I'll go back onto the tripod here now. So you'd set your height down, so where you want it to be, and then this thing here you can pull across, and you can see now that screw end just interferes, so it won't let it go down anymore, and you can adjust that to whatever height you want. So as I turn that, the blade's getting lower and lower and lower, and that's what you can do to make joints. So you'd saw across a piece of wood, it only cut down say 1 centimetre into the wood, and then you'd chisel it out, and you'd have your little, whether you're doing an overlap or whatever you want to do with it. So it's quite handy, and then you can snap it over, so you don't have to unscrew it every time. You can keep it set. Another thing on it that's quite handy is you can lock it. So if you don't want it sliding around, then at the back here, turn this one and tighten it up. And then it, oh no, yeah, and then it ain't going to move any further than that much forwards. So you can see there now it's not going further than that. So you can set how far it's going to go. Another way you can set it is with this one here. So if we put it back all the way, tighten it up, then that isn't moving at all, and it's only going to chop like a regular Mitre saw does, so it's not going to slide forwards or anything like that. When you want to put it away in storage, lift it up, pop it down, and there's a little push button thing there, push it in, and that's it now, it's locked down. So that's all locked into position. If you were thinking of getting one, I'd recommend it. It's really good. It's never failed me on anything I've wanted to do. It's got its downsides, which there's nothing wrong with the design of it. It's just the way this saw is. If I wanted one that had cut deeper, if I wanted one where this didn't interfere with the workpiece and it cut deeper, I would have bought one that cut deeper. But the downside of the ones that cut deeper is they normally don't cut as far as this one. So it's got its pros and it's got its cons, just like everything. But for the machine and for what it is and what it's advertised for, it's absolutely perfect. The build quality is really good. Nice brushed aluminium, good quality plastic. One thing I like to see is the brushes. If you know about the motors, the brushes are right on the outside, really accessible here. So if you ever need to change the brushes after you've worn the motor out, you can just unscrew them and change the brushes. It's dead easy. Whereas with like some drills and stuff, you have to take the whole thing apart to get to the brushes. But with this one, it's all accessible. So yeah, thanks for watching, and cheers. Yeah, recommend it. Okay, cheers, bye.